inspired to make this for all of you doing the beta program, the online coaching program with me and Phoenix, looking over at Phoenix as I say that. So many ways I don't want to make this video because the small human part of me doesn't like to be seen, feels uncomfortable, scared, would just prefer to live in the shadows, would prefer not to be seen. I'm sure we can all relate to that in some way. And I'm grateful that I have been on this journey long enough that my sacred muscles of soul clarity, of intuition, of feeling the bigness of that soul, that love, that heart in me is big enough to also feel the call, the inertia, the momentum to share. So I'm called to share. And I don't want to share. And in this program, I can't encourage us. Well, in life, I can't encourage us all to start to really understand that so many different things can be true at the same time. And often, particularly when we're growing, our human will feel and experience life in a particular way, and our soul, our bigness, our truth will feel very differently, right? So I don't want to be seen, I want to hide, and I want to be seen, I want to share, I want to share an experience, an awareness that I have right now that I just had. So oh my Lord, I've been working so hard, working on this program. We've got a new house, so I really want to make it look pretty. I've got some guests coming, so I've got all of those kinds of house cleaning, decorating, preparing for visitors. I just bought some new plants. I'm working so much in the garden. I've got so many things to do there. I have friends that live on a ranch that just received a baby cow. The cow is now 3 days old. I got to see the cow when she was 1 day old, and the mother rejected her. So this beautiful calf needs to be bottle fed now. And so I got to bottle feed this 1 day old calf a few days ago, and my friends have 2 small kids doing all this stuff on a ranch. They're very overwhelmed. And so I also feel the call to drop everything at home and go and help them, and selfishly spend time with this baby cow, and hopefully in a valuable way help my friends. So long story short, I couldn't put my finger on it. Even though I could tell you all of those things are true, but this morning I had anxiety. I was just this. And like any grown adult, I do my best to be functional and to let go of that, and to show up in positive and practical, powerful ways, and just live my day. And I'm so grateful that I'm married to a man that also is committed to growing his sacred muscles of love, of compassion, of continuing to use this life for self-healing, for self-growth, for living more of the love that we are, and continuing to release the fear and the human conditioning. So he could tell that I was a little out of balance and I was struggling, and he asked if he could help me. I want to share just a quick story about this morning, because when this happens, right, it's like it builds. Have you ever had that experience where it's like, oh, I don't feel very good, I'm okay, shove it back down. It grows, right? The energy grows. Not always. Sometimes we can relax, release, let it go. But then sometimes, in my experience, when there's a big lesson, a big moment for growing, our karma will kind of ask that we attend to it rather than just keep letting it go. And so that was one of these mornings. We were driving home from walking Phoenix at the meadow, and my husband wanted to stop to chat to a neighbor for 10 seconds, right? I knew he wasn't going to talk that long. And he, in the whole scheme of things, he was probably only talking to our neighbor for 10 seconds. But the fact that he stopped the car, wound down the window, and had this conversation with our neighbor, like, took me up to here. And so I'm so grateful that I know when I'm out of balance, when my karma, when my trauma is up. You want to get up, Phoenix? You can. That I'll want to project that, right? So it was quite easy for me to feel this discomfort, feel this, like, almost just this, like, everything's not okay, to project that onto my husband. It's like, it's his fault that I feel this way because he stopped the car for 10 seconds, like, ridiculous. But I felt that in me, but gratefully, I know how this works. And that's just a beautiful alert for me. Whenever I'm feeling that, it's like, okay, it's time. Stop everything. Stop trying to live your life. Stop trying to be functional, and attend to the anxiety, this precious energy inside that just wants to be loved and released. So I want to share a little bit about this, and I've already been talking for a long time. I'm so sorry that I can't say things in a succinct way, and I've tried for I've tried. And so I do want to go on a small tangent even about this and say that, I could speak more practically, more succinctly, in a way that works for the audience. But when I do that, I lose my connection to self. I lose my connection to the love, to this present moment. And so I have made peace with I'm this magical mess of sharing, of tears, of talking through the tears, of rambling, of segments, of tangents. And that it's much more important for me to be honest, authentic, and real than it is for me to be acceptable or packaged or polished or professional in any way. So thank you for still being here listening to this, if you are. So my husband said, I've only got 15 minutes. He was just about to go leave, go do something, but I'll hold for you. And so we do this a lot together, and often his ability to just hold, to be listening, to be a presence, we don't actually dialogue. It just helps me go inside and me work my own process. And sometimes he asks me questions, and like a counselor, like a therapist, guides me through certain situations. But sometimes he just holds for me while I go within and work my own process. And so the latter was this morning. I just closed my eyes, and it was probably only about 10 minutes. But I went on this beautiful journey, this beautiful self-healing. And so I wanted to share about that. So my husband started by asking me, what's present? And one of the biggest keys in self-healing and doing this work and learning how to not just push down or temporarily release our anxiety, our depression, our trauma, but to truly clear it and lift it. One of the keys is definitely to, and I just lost it. Sorry, when I've just cleared a big energy, I get very high and spiritually connected, and my memory doesn't work like it usually does. So let me backtrack for 1 second. So my husband asked me, how are you doing? Like, what's present? And the big key here is we're conditioned, and what we usually do is we exteriorize from the body, and we try and talk about all of the things that are contributing to why we're feeling this way. And I'm so grateful. I've been doing this for so many years that I now don't even spend time in that, right? I could have said, well, I've got a lot to do today. I've just launched a big program, XYZ. These are all the reasons that I'm anxious. These are all the reasons why I'm overwhelmed and feeling this way. And all of that is, well, in some way it's not bullshit, but in some ways it's bullshit. The truth, what was present just was that I was feeling like this, that this anxiety was present, that inside of me was this. And in my experience, life will give us these beautiful days, these beautiful moments that just trigger the repressed energy. So for whatever reason, this was going on in my consciousness. And so my husband asked, what's present? And so I was just like this, like, I'm anxious. And so so then that's when I closed my eyes and just started to work my own inner process. And so first of all, I did what is the technique that we're sharing with the beta program next Wednesday, next Tuesday rather, which is relax and release. Very powerful technique. It's helpful in a wide variety of situations, but in my experience, it doesn't clear the source of some deep and long-held trauma. I am still clearing out a lot of trauma from my childhood. I was sexually abused. My dad left when I was 3. My mum died at 14. I was then left with my sexual abuser. Like there is just a good, juicy, big amount of chunky years there that I'm still unpacking. And so it comes up like this. So I'm feeling this, and I'm just feeling this. I could disperse the energy by going, oh, I'm so worried that XYZ is going on. But if I can really allow myself to feel this fully, really feel it, really become one with it, for me, the emotion starts to move. And pretty quickly after about 30 seconds of just, instead of like, I've got to do work, I'm a functional person, let go of the outside world, connect to my inside world, and start to have time and softness and space for this, the anxiety, the overwhelm, the panic, the fear, the I'm not okayness. Within even just half a minute, it started to soften into sadness. And because I have done this work so often with myself in a self-healing kind of way, I know what it is when a moment from my childhood just flashes. And I know now, and I'm crying because I'm so grateful, right? Like this whole massive clearing took place in about 7 minutes this morning. It was profound, and now I feel amazing. And this morning I felt fucking terrible. But, you know, so I'm just so grateful that I now know that when that moment just flashes, that like I don't search for it, but when I'm really feeling it and allowing that emotion to move, usually just a memory, a moment from my childhood pops in. And I will say, often it's probably one of 3 or 4 moments that pop, right? I have been with particular moments in my life, maybe thousands of times. And for me this morning, the moment that popped in was the day that my mum died, and just feeling like I didn't want to be there, just very like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Like, where do I go now? Who do I like? What? And so for the very first time ever, what was present this morning was a little Zoe that wanted to chase her mom and go, I'm coming with you. I want to come with you. I don't want to be here in this world. I'm coming with you. And so I think one of the most underused, underestimated skills in self-healing is the divine imagination. So I've now just learned to run with that, right? And so in a beautiful parallel universe in my divine imagination, I let little Zoe run after mum the day that she died. I just ran after her and I just said all that was in my heart to say. And I was doing all this silently as my husband was continuing to hold for me and love me. While we were in silence, me and my mum were talking. And I was just, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. I can't do this. Can't do this. I don't want to come with you. And releasing more right now with your love. So thank you. There's more that I'm letting go of in this moment. But it was so beautiful. I got to say that. I got to express that. And then I got to just really naturally evolve into the truth. And this takes time. This really takes a whole lot of time. So be kind and patient with yourself. And I will say, I don't know if it's possible to only do self-healing. I think self-healing works very well, either in conjunction with or after a period of time where you have received loving support, professional help, a therapist, a counselor, someone that knows what they're doing. And more than knows what they're doing, has actually evolved and transformed some of their own big chunky karma so that they have a level of resonance of vibration self-healing that can kind of almost like through osmosis expand you into that. I do want to say that. So yes, self-healing. I'm all about self-healing because I'm all about giving away all the tools and tips that I've learned over the years for free. The world needs to know how to love oneself, be compassionate, be kind, and truly let that love and compassion rewire us neurologically, clear, repair our nervous system, clear our trauma. But I don't know, right? But I'm not sure if self-healing, if you can do it all on your own. I think we're designed to be supported by other people. We're designed to let other people in. So finish that tangent. But I was about to say that so this is a big muscle that I have, and I've developed this over a very long period of time. But basically the muscle is that once I have really allowed myself to feel, and let little Zoe be aware of what she needs and to express that, right? She was sad, she saw her mom, she got to really let her know, I want to come with you, right? It's like that emotion, that energy was allowed to be fully welcomed, fully expressed, fully allowed until it was complete in some way. There was a stillness, there was a completion that came in after that. And so the big skill that I now have is just naturally expanding this moment into the spiritual reality, the spiritual truth. Because it's our hurts, our wounds, our nervous system trauma is a function of our human reality. And we're given trauma so that we might expand into our spiritual reality. So the spiritual reality is this: that we're always loved, and that well, in some ways, I'll stop there, that we're always loved. So in this particular moment, in this divinely imagined experience, I got to receive my mum here and now. I got to, in some way, experience and feel that even though she hasn't been present in my life since I was 14, that she has still been with me, that she has been ushering me. She has been maybe more with me than she could have been if she was here physically. She has been. And this is the spiritual reality that I can't put into words, but that is now such a real experience that it's just profound. But she has been with me just as all of life, right? When we talk about oneness or God, it's just like inside the truth of this life, we're all one. There's just one energy, and it's love. We're all connected. Every leaf, every cloud, every human, absolutely everything. We're all one, right? So in that essence, and it's more than a metaphysical or a philosophical idea. It's a deep embodied experience that I now have, that yeah, mum is with me, and she has been with me, and I do believe she has been a guardian angel that has been nudging and pulling some strings on the other side, and just helping me create such an incredibly beautiful life. And so I got to experience that. I got to just, again, fully remember and fully embody that my mum is with me and has always been with me. And I had this, I don't know if I've ever had this way, but like kind of as adults, me and mum, we kind of just hugged, but had our foreheads together. And I got to really just feel my mum. Oh, it was so beautiful. It is so beautiful now. It's still very much with me, but I got to just got to be with her, feel her. And in that oneness, in that little Zoe part of me that was stuck of, I'm not okay without my mum. I'm not going to be okay without my mum. I'm not okay. Right? That repressed emotion got released this morning. And so once I've cleared that or released that, brought in my loving for that, I then come back into my real life and I look, it's like, are you kidding? Everything's awesome. Everything's fine. I've got more than enough time to do X. Like it just, this morning I felt like everything wasn't going to be okay, and I can't explain it. But right now I feel it. I know that everything's going to be okay. Like everything is okay. Everything's great. I'm amazing. Everything's great. Because that small little Zoe, that small traumatic that's kept in my nervous system, that's just basically neural pathways of like, we're not going to be okay. We're not going to be okay. There's no one here to take care of us. Like, it's not going to be okay. That's been in me, running unconsciously at times. And so it was triggered this morning. So I spent time to truly allow that, connect with that, have compassion, bring loving into it, which releases, rewires our neurology, and clears our nervous system. It's absolutely profound. So kind of that's what I wanted to share. I'm committed to sharing and supporting people in doing this work. The challenge that I find is that it is so nuanced, and there are so many different ways to do it, and there are so many different moments. And I will shine the light. Actually, this was the motivation for this video that I will now finally get to. Sometimes some anxiety comes up and we can relax and release it. We can just let go, breathe, like really like embrace and allow that fear, those doubts, whatever it is, whatever energy, we can kind of like we relax and release tension from our tight fist. We can just relax and release it. And then all of a sudden we feel calm. Everything feels okay. That's good. We can do that. And I tried to do that initially. When I was doing that, I was bringing in the love. I was hoping that I could just relax and release. And that was my intention, just relax and release. But then that sadness came, and then that moment popped. And that is my intuitive guidance to dive more deeply. And rather than just, relax, release, relax and release. There is a part of my humanity, there is a part of my story, a part of my neural wiring that needs to be heard, that needs a voice, that before it can let go, it needs to be honored. It needs to kind of have its story. It needs to express, because it's stuck in a loop that it's not okay, but it is okay. And so when we drop into the human, we give that beautiful part of us a voice. And usually for me, it's just a little Zoe moment. I have received past life experience, but 99 times out of 100 for me, it's a little Zoe, a childhood moment. And I do believe that they're all synced up. our past lives are synced to childhood lives. Not going to get into that right now. And so sometimes it's not always possible just to relax and release, just let it go. And so I do get a little bit frustrated. And usually it's, well, I'm not going to say that. I was just about to say usually it's a more mental or a masculine method that's just telling us, just stop it, just relax, just release, just be okay. And in my experience, the most effective way, when it's really big, when we're really out of balance, the most effective way through this is to drop into our human, our emotions, embody the experience so that we can give that a voice and then really support us in giving our human the experience of being heard, being seen, being loved, and allowing that loving, that forgiveness, that compassion to truly rewire and clear the trauma, clear the anxiety, expand into feeling incredible about our lives. So that's it. Wow. I've been talking for so long. If you're listening to me, I hope you got value. I am doing 3 as part of the beta program, and I'm open to doing more calls a week, but right now I'm doing 3 live Q&As where I will be answering questions, working with people one-on-one, supporting you in whatever is challenging, helping you unpack any of the techniques we're playing with. It truly is an impossible adventure I've embarked upon, sharing this online coaching program. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if it's a good idea. I hope it is. My meditation and intuition has been telling me it is, but we'll find out. But I just want to show up with people that are ready to really dive into their lives and learn how to love themselves so that they may clear this neural pathways, clear the trauma, just clear those unconscious ways that we hold back from naturally loving ourselves and naturally loving our life. And then through that, creating more of what we love, truly manifesting a life that's adorable, that's wonderful, that's big and beautiful and brave and bold. So I'll start those calls on April. You'll get this messy, not polished presenter. You'll get this messy, beautiful, amazing Zoe. And we're going to dive in. I'm going to be there to support you, and we're going to see what happens. We're going to see what unfolds. Let's see if Phoenix has anything to say in this moment. We shouldn't disturb him, should we? No, he's having a little nap. He's actually very upset right now because a neighborhood dog is on heat and he just wants to go and be his horny self around her. And unfortunately, he can't. I love you all. Thank you for being with me on this journey. Thank you for being with Phoenix in the ways that you are. I really hope that this beta program is valuable. Please give me your feedback, please, both positive and negative. If you're liking something, please tell me. If you're like, oh, this doesn't make sense, this is confusing, there's going to be a lot of confusing stuff, but please tell me so I can simplify and clarify. As I've said, I've been doing this work and all these techniques for so many years that sometimes I take things for granted. So please tell me when it's confusing. And that's it. I'm going to stop talking. I love you all so much. Have an incredible day. I'll see you soon. Love you. Bye.